Welcome back to another episode of My Mom Always Says Mini Pod. I am Erin. I'm a mom of one, and I'm married, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
And my name is Geneva Todd. I have two daughters, Dana and Erin, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia, too, with Erin right now.
Today, we're going to kind of switch things up and talk about what I feel like is with the whole social media generation, right? Which I am a part of, but I'm like on the tail end of it because it's really for the young folks. But talking about, which this was like a viewer suggestion, which I thought was a great suggestion, but talking about friendships. I've been fortunate enough to have some robust friendships all throughout life, starting from as young as I can remember. So starting from going to kindergarten, no, before that, because I had Chanel and all these kids from when I was younger, so pre-kindergarten. But I would just always remember having friendships as the foundation of my life. Like, those are the girls who I laugh with, we cry, we travel, we do all kind of fun things. I do these things with my husband too, but nothing beats a good set of girlfriends, right? Like, that's just always been my motto. I've always been a girl's girl. Never had anything to keep me away from being that. And I got that foundation from you because growing up, I saw you with your friends. I saw you travel with your friends. I saw you go to dinner with your friends. You just always had a good group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
But where you started in Georgia,
mm-hmm.
Tell me about your friendships then, because you were a little girl there. Did you have friends growing up?
Yeah, I did have friends. And I remember with my friends, I was sort of the leader of my friends, but we played together, walked through the woods together and everything. And then I had boys that were friends. Mm-hmm. We played basketball together. I was the only girl on the court playing basketball. Mm-hmm. So throughout my life, I've had a solid set of friends, that the type of friends that you could call at 2 o'clock in the morning, or they could call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, mm-hmm. and I'm there.
Yeah.
Without question.
A lot of those friendships, when you transitioned from Georgia to Chicago at 18, those friendships didn't transition with you, right?
No, not at all.
Right, so you started from scratch.
I started from scratch, but I still kept my friends in Georgia, if not just to write them a letter or something like that. Mm-hmm. I met new friends on the job.
So if somebody's looking for friends, do you think, as an adult, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that meeting friends on the job is like a good place to start? Like, if you were starting over meeting friends, where do you feel like you would look to first?
Well, see, the thing about friends is that you never know when you're going to meet a friend. Like, right. when I came down here, I didn't know anyone.
Right.
And so...
In your 70s, right?
Right, mm-hmm. In my early 70s. And then I was standing in, I think it was TJ Maxx. Mm-hmm. And a lady asked me to hold her place in line, mm-hmm. until she comes back. And so I was glad to do so.
Yeah.
Then she got back and we started talking. And then we went out to eat later on. And she was younger. Mm-hmm. She was younger than
I remember her.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Shara. Mm-hmm. And then she called one of her friends who was going to a senior place. Mm-hmm. And the lady came over to the restaurant and she introduced her to me.
Yeah.
And because of that, I've joined membership at this senior place and other people.
I remember the whole senior situation for you. You were like, that's where the old folks go. I don't go to senior places. It's too many old people. And I'm like, Mom, but we won't go with the old word, but you are said senior.
That wasn't then. That was when I was in Chicago, and I was.
I know you in your 60s, but right. Seniors go at 60s.
Yeah, but I wasn't a senior that went at 60. I wasn't an older. I wasn't. See, you can be older in age.
I know.
So
seniors start at 55, right?
That's right, and I wasn't senior. I mean, an older person at 65.
50, technically at 55, you were a senior.
Yeah, right.
But you don't want to believe that.
That's right, and we'll see whether you believe it when you get that age.
I'm going to take advantage of every discount I can get. AARP, whatever you get as a senior.
I forget some of them now.
Yeah, well, a lot of discounts you could take advantage of. But going back to, okay, so when you got to Chicago, mm-hmm. you started getting a lot of friends through the workplace and things like that.
That's right. I met on every place that I worked. I met friends. I've always found it easy to make friends.
Mm-hmm. Why? Because you talk, or people tend to start telling you their life story? Like, is it
no? It's something about a personality. Warmth that a person gives you, and you give them. That because you can meet how many people do you meet in a day, and you don't say nothing but hi and bye.
Right.
And then that person, you meet that a certain person, and then you continue to talk to them.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that was the same for me. Like, I have my layers of friends, and it's almost like, I look at it like a cake, right? And there's all these different ingredients you fold in at every stage while you're baking. And so I have friends from kindergarten, from first grade, right? That I met, went to elementary school, all through with them. Then I have, then you throw in another layer of friends that I met in high school, right? Then now and so some of my elementary school friends went to school with my high school friends. So then we were a friend group. So then now I transitioned to college. Now there's another layer of friendships. Those friends from high school and elementary school have hung out with my friends from college, because I guess I tend to attract the same type of women.
That's right.
And so they can I'm not this different person when I'm with my elementary school friends versus when I'm with my college friends, etc. And then now when I became an adult, you throw in this layer of work friends. And the thing about work friends, they can range from all ages.
That's right.
I got friends about to be 60. I was, when I was 25, they were in their 40s, and we celebrated different things going on in their life. And, now they see me in my 40s, and they're creeping up to 60. And it's just like all these layers. But those friends they know some of my friends that I met at college, and we've all had dinner. And it's just like all these different layers of friendships. But what remains the same is me at the center of that. I got friends like Brooke, Brooke is like, she's my friend group, and the friends that she met through me, they go hang. I mean, they're best friends. You know what I'm saying? So they can go do stuff. I don't even have to be there. So it's not like, it's just like, oh, we're only around if Aaron's around. They're their own set of friends too, which but I credit that to you, because I remember growing up, like, again, like the podcast says, my mom always says, I always say, like, okay, my mom always says that everybody's not your friend. You can have acquaintances, but you don't call everybody a friend. And I remember, when you're young, and I tell Juju the same thing. I'm like, he's like, I met a new friend today. I'm like, okay, you met a new person today. You have to earn each other's friendships. You know,
it's an acquaintance until they prove that they're a friend.
And what does that proof look like, though?
Well, it's just camaraderie that you have with them. You can tell whether that person is a matchup for you if you are around that person for any length of time.
Right? Is it a spark? Kind of like dating. Would you liken it to dating? Like, if there's something there.
Right. It's likened to dating, but it's not. Naturally, it's not dating.
Yeah. Right.
But it's likened to that. My friends, just like I just saw a friend that I have in Georgia, but when I went to my class reunion just about 2 months ago.
Georgia,
right.
Georgia school.
And but my closest friend that I had in Georgia died. I think it was last year.
Who, Annie Ruth?
Yeah, Annie Ruth.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago. That was right after COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she died, and she was only 8 years older than I.
Right.
But she was married, and I used to go and babysit for her and all, and she was a very good friend. And
that was an 8-year difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like I said, she was married.
Yeah.
And they had 2 little kids or so, and I would babysit. And so that was a place for me to go when I was bored at home. I would go over to her house.
Yeah.
And then she died.
Yeah.
So that was that was sort of hurting, but you learn to deal with death at a certain stage in your life.
Anyway, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then you're going to go through certain things, certain health challenges with your friends. Y'all start off young and everybody's doing well and spry, and then you start to realize that, okay, we're at a stage where literally somebody could drop dead, somebody could get sick, a terminal illness, a chronic illness, whatever, and we just have to make sure, we have to check in with one another to make sure everybody's doing okay. And now, you're throwing this whole mental aspect. I bet coming up with your friends where y'all checking on each other's mental states, because that's kind of more recent.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. You didn't think of either you were crazy or not.
Right. That's how people looked at it. They didn't look at it as like, okay, there's different mental challenges or different things triggering versus how we do, now.
Right.
You had these layers of friends starting in when you got Terry through work, then you picked up all these different friends along the way.
Yeah, but and it will be like on my first job, I can remember anyone on my first job. It was a factory job for about 9 months until I got some money in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I was going to business school at that time for key punch operating. And so I worked in this factory, and then but I can't remember anyone from that time. But then when I became a typist, as a result of going to business school, when I became a typist, that's where I met some of my friends. Until today, I have 2 major friends from that era that calls me sister.
Okay.
That's Doris and Mary.
Oh, that's where you met Doris and Mary? See, I didn't know. You learned something. That's what I'm saying. You always learn something. I didn't know that's where you met them.
I was only 19, and I met Agnes.
Doris, Agnes, and Mary all worked together?
But they were in different departments.
Oh, but they all worked at the same place.
Right.
Yeah, okay. See? Yeah, these are lifelong friends that I know. Great friends of my mom. Okay. So, and these are lifelong friends. And so you all go into your 70s and your 80s to infinity and beyond with these people. And
that's right.
It's just a
blessing. And then I met Fanny at a laundromat a few years later. And Brookie, I met her because I moved into an apartment where she was living as well.
Okay.
And so I met her that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so Brookie and Fanny and Agnes are dead now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you have any advice for someone who's in this space of their lives where they feel like they've had a lot of changes, a lot of shifts, situations, they might have lost a lot of friends through personal reasons, whatever that looked like. Maybe they didn't make the best decisions on picking friends, early on, and they're looking to make friendships in adulthood. Do you have any advice on what somebody should do to maybe, spark conversations or, just create friendships? Yeah.
So one of the things that you have to make sure is the person, see whether the personality clicks. You should have similar personalities. Some things that you like, some things that you don't like. I have stayed away from people that drink too much. I mean, and I don't mean
drink too much. Then you should probably be with some other people that drink a lot, right?
That's right. Yeah. So then I let them go and be with those kind of people. People that curse too much, those kind of people I stayed away from. I don't go by how you treat me either. I go by how you treat other people, and I observe.
Right.
And so those kind of people, I like to be connected to. But you can never, if you have a friend that is talking about other people all the time, that
they likely talking about you.
That's right. Yeah.
Because it's different from a little friendly gossip versus, somebody being really ugly
right
toward another friend, then you start to question, like,
right.
I don't think you're their friend if you're talking about them like that.
No.
And see, and that's you think about me and my friends. Even if we don't agree on everything, we don't fight, we don't cuss each other out, we don't argue. Some people are like, I don't leave my friends around my man because I am willing to bet a lot on my friendships, and people know that. Julius knows that. A lot of people know that. Like the kind of friends I have, somebody tried to lie on one of my friends one day, and I cut it right then and there because I knew it was a lie, because I know that is the level of friendship that I have, and you have to. I think that's super, super important. I think that when you're seeking friendships as an adult, you have to let it happen organically. You can't close yourself off to certain people and situations or experiences because you feel like, oh, it's something you've never done or it's somebody you would never talk to, because you just never know. Especially at this stage of our lives, when you're getting older, we meet people at different stages of their life, and you just never know on what ways you're going to click, and ways that you can help each other grow and stuff like that, because we're constantly growing until we die. So that would be my only thing. Be open-minded too.
But as I said, if you're drinking too much, and if you cursing too much, and I mean
that's you though, Mom. I'm saying that right, but that's you. Somebody
right.
like somebody that curses a lot.
Oh, then that's them.
It goes back to personality.
If you can be a good friend, you will know when you find a good friend.
That's a good point. Before we go, I do want to say that, because I'm always wary of the girls who, I don't do girlfriends. That number one.
That's right.
Number two, I'm always wary of the girl who every time you look up, she's losing a friend.
Right.
Because now I'm starting to look at you as the problem versus the other people that are around you that are dropping you.
That's right.
And I'll leave it at that. All right, guys. So come back next week. We're going to go into a little bit more about friendships, and basically about how once life starts to evolve, about losing friends and things like that. So
right.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.